But the point, all of this to say, there for generations and generations of Jews, there has been an understanding that you prepare your food beforehand. Now, not everyone in the Torah movement does that. Now, I'm not putting anyone down who doesn't. In fact, I make it a goal on Shabbat to cook breakfast for my family, and I do that so that my wife doesn't have to. So I think that every family is going to be different and every community is different. However, it's not correct to say, oh, well, you're going to have to cook. We usually eat leftovers after breakfast is done. We eat leftovers for the rest of the day. So that's the point. That's my point here. So anyway, back to the comment. If you don't spend money on Sabbath, you have to cook. You don't have to. And if I should have smoothed this out a little bit. If you rest too, it feels like going out and watch. Oh, and if rest too, you feel like going out and watching a movie or going to a park, you have to pay to get in. Isn't that still rest? So I think the point here, and I've heard this same argument. I'm going to send this over to you here, Rob, because I've been talking for a long time. But I think the point here is why isn't it rest to say go watch a movie? That seems pretty leisurely. Or why isn't it rest to go to a theme park with your family and enjoy the festivities? Why isn't it rest to go to a restaurant if you're not cooking? I think that's the overall point that CM is making here, and I'm going to let you talk now. Go.
Well, I think there's recreation is different than rest. Like I think of going to a park. Well, it depends. Like, are you going to like a zoo or something, or are you going to go and every case is going to be different. Like, so if we just start well, what about this? Well, what about ism? What about this? What about that? I would say read what the Bible says about the Shabbat and start implementing parts of it into your life, and build and make it a priority. Prepare food in advance and recognize this, that if you're like, what is the purpose of Shabbat? Like, why did God give us the commandment to rest? It has to do with remembering who we are in him, right? That we're not slaves of this world, but we're his children. And we need that renewal in his word. So I think being in the word is super important on the Shabbat also. But I don't have a problem if someone goes for a walk and is just enjoying, a sunny afternoon or something like that, or wants to go to the park and sit by a little pond or something and enjoy some physical relaxation and some fresh air. I think that's great.
So,
but if you're like, well, I want to go to the zoo, and that's more, I see that more as recreation, or go to the movies. That's more recreation,
right?
But I don't see that as resting, like according to the Shabbat. That
So the John 17 Project says this just makes me think of a saying from my time in the Army: proper preparation prevents poor performance. The idea is to take the time to prepare so things. Yeah, it is a lot of peace. The idea is to take the time to prepare so things go well. Just thinking through the Torah itself and the law of God, and we are commanded to rest on the Shabbat, right? Nowhere in the 5 books of Moses is it said that we're not allowed to spend money. However, we have case law given to us on spending money. I think it's in Ezra? Where is
Jeremiah?
Nehemiah, right? Yeah. Where the merchants are setting up, right? The merchants are setting up to sell. It's still Shabbat. And the prophet comes and says, what are you doing? Anybody who's here next time is not going to go well for you. So it seems that we have good case law. It's Nehemiah. Thank you, chat room. We have good case law for the idea that money should not be. Now, it could be argued. And
there's also Jeremiah 17, I think, maybe.
On the flip side of this, it could be argued that, that's people within the covenant. Gentile, you're allowed. So if just purely talking about laws here, if animal dies in the field on its own, you're not allowed to eat the meat, but you are allowed to You are allowed to sell it to the non-covenant member who is passing through, correct? Okay, so then what about other laws? Would that be case law for laws like allowing a Gentile who is not part of the covenant? And when I say Gentile, this has nothing to do with bloodline. What I mean by Gentile is one who has not come to covenant membership through Christ. So if you're dealing with a person who's not a covenant member, are you allowed to then buy something from them or exchange money with them since they're not part of the covenant? And I think that this now comes down to the old adage of ask your local rabbi. What does your teacher in your community say? Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.